Hey everyone, how is everyone doing? On this Tuesday night, Tuesday, August 20th, 2024, in the year of the Lord Christ. How is everyone doing, huh? I have 3 days left, then I'm gone. 2 days actually, 1.5 day actually. I'm gone away from New Jersey for 3 weeks at least. I don't know. But I gotta go meet my wife. And we got to make some plans. Hopefully, we can do some international travel. All right, because it has been difficult. Past few weeks have been very difficult for us with our visas, and my fucking sciatica obviously is not going anywhere, right? And I have stopped actually going to the therapy because I have a feeling that I need to do that injection. Because when I go there, I just am miserable, you know. So after I come back, we'll see. At the same time, as much as I can limp and walk, but the pain is down there. It's just that the nerve is being pinched, it's inflamed all the time, and I'm really not taking any fucking like painkillers or anything. Once in a blue moon, I'll take that nerve pain gabapentin, right? Then just put me to fucking sleep, and it has been hard for me. Like sleeping even sometimes I feel like I have managed basically, I have managed to just live my life with this in this condition. But I don't think I can actually live like this forever. Just tough. Uh, you know, just affects your well-being. And well, why did you play golf like a 22-year-old, sir, for 2.5 years, 3 years, right? Continuous. Or what, like being out in the bars? Yeah, but I did that for like fucking 22 years. Not every like day or every weekend. But I don't know, maybe it's just the fucking old age, you know. But then young ones also get this condition too. And yeah, just sometimes it just makes me depressed. Because when I read about this, it says, oh, it takes about 4 to 6 weeks and then you'll be fine. It has been almost like 5 months now. Mm. I don't know. Maybe I've just become too fucking weak. That's what I felt like the other night. Actually, I was sort of like sitting at this bar right after there was a lot of fucking rain. I went to meet some couple of guys that I hang out with in like a Sunday church, right? And then I saw that there was a fucking SUV on the light trail tracks. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And there were cops there. They were like, people with like, tow trucks. I'm like, what the fuck? How did that happen? It was right after the rain. Apparently, it had rained so much near my old neighborhood, right? It had rained so fucking much that the car got swept away. by the rain onto the train tracks. Believe it or not. And for the obvious reasons, right? That the infrastructure, the way this Jersey City has been built, right? With all these fucking high rises and, you know, like the population increase in the past 10 years, I think. I mean, I've seen in my lifetime of being in Jersey City, so many buildings have gone up like high rises, right? And they don't have any infrastructure. I mean, yeah, of course, the rainwater didn't have anywhere to go, right? No fucking storm sewers. So it just got stagnant on the road, and then it started sweeping the cars away onto train tracks. Sounds like a third world country, right? That's exactly what it is. These officials have allowed this like growth. I'm not saying that, okay, well, yeah, that was a natural event, but nobody actually built the infrastructure for natural or these fucking high rises. The sewer and water and all that, right? And then I'm like, I was kind of depressed, and then, and then I sat on a bar, and then I was talking to these people. Oh, the bartender, what's his name? One of my friends actually who lives in our building. I was talking to him, and then I was talking to some other patrons there, right? And then for a minute or two, I just got into my own head, and then it sort of made me depressed. I'm like, is this like the condition that I have to live with for the rest of my life? Or it just made me weak. I was kind of like really, I got really depressed, you know? And why don't you get the injections? Or I don't know, man. Just like, you talk to one person, they tell you one thing, and then why don't you just listen to your surgeon? Huh? Isn't that what he told you? I don't know. Meridian, somebody, a friend of mine, another friend of mine told me to work on the meridians. That's the Chinese way of like, finding your chakras. Is that what it is? But I don't know. I'm just limping. I'm just living my life with this for now, you know. So, am I just too weak to even face something like this? The fact that this is what it is, man. You gotta do whatever you gotta do to get this fixed. Or am I just being too depressed even to even like getting it fixed? I don't know. I think it's a bit of both. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Just I gotta live with it, I think, you know. But without giving too much like personal information, it can actually become worse. Anything that is constant pain in your fucking body is not good, you know. All right, everyone. So Russell Crowe, the great actor, was on Joe Rogan podcast, and I was listening to his story, and this is another thing that actually sort of like late in my game has made me depressed. I'm over that, hopefully, that listen, there were so many venues I could get into in addition to my own field of engineering, right? Maybe I could just take up another hobby instead of fucking partying too much in New York City, right? But like what? Acting, Yeah, maybe like comedy, stand-up comedy, something, right? And now I'm just too old. I'm just too fucking old. I'm just like into the other side of that hump. Remember when you hit the hump of 50, then you are just basically now at the downward spiral, right? Starting with something like fucking sciatica. And then I'm just trying to have this escape, because I just have these thoughts, and I mean, in my own fucking head, and I can't deal with it. And then, this visa situation for my wife, and just am I repeating myself? I am, but these are the fucking facts I have to deal with, and I don't know. Maybe I have just become too weak, or maybe I was not strong to begin with from the beginning of my fucking life. Yeah, I have lived my life by myself, before I got married, and it was not easy, you know. Um, Up here, in Northeast, and again, coming back from like fucking Dallas, suburbs of Dallas, spending that weekend with my friend, right? Now I kind of feel it. It's like, why the fuck did I not move to Florida or down there, when I was younger? A lot of regrets in life, right? All right, sir, let's move on. I mean, let's just dot something positive at least. Yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting my wife. I love her. I miss her. And it hasn't been difficult. It hasn't been easy, you know. It has been difficult for both of us, especially for her, because she's that in that part of the world. It's not like, she's having problems, but obviously, we need to be together for fuck's sake. And I'm hoping that few months, she'll be interviewed and she'll come here and I'll have that peace of mind, and I'll have that balance of life, sort of like that, the the love life and the career life, and at least, I'm saying that in this day and age of you know where I am, like nobody tells you, especially if you're coming here at the age of 28, right? Where in that part of the world where you come from, you are basically just given one fucking direction, right? You gotta get a degree, you gotta get a job, you gotta get and then you gotta get married, you gotta have kids, and that's it. That's your fucking, which is well and good, right? But then, yeah, I gotta blame myself too. I never really like, maybe I didn't have a lot of like, male role models in my life, you know? But then, yeah, sort of I blame my father for, like not even calling me every now and then, hey, how are you doing, blah, 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 right? And then, it was not easy after fucking 9/11, And I didn't pursue, like I didn't pursue, or not that this thing didn't occur into my mind that, oh, by the way, man, you got to like look at your life from different angles, look at your life at different angles, and if something is really bothering you, like for example, back in the days was the relationship was a big fucking thing, right? I'm talking about like 11 years, 12 years ago, you know? It's not easy. It's not easy. I mean, relationships, to find a relationship, it's hard to begin with. And to find a good relationship, somebody, forget it. And especially up here in Northeast, it's just a hassle, you know? So if at that point, you know, and hopefully maybe this is something that maybe young ones, whoever is listening to six of my listeners, can have this takeaway that, you know, if there's something that's actually really a void in your life, then you got to look at that void and see what you can do. If you need to move, just move, you know. If you're not happy with your career, I'm talking about this side of the world. I mean, where I come from originally, forget it. There's nothing there, you know, like what I just said. But I don't know. This is all part of fucking life. Suck it up, you know, suck it up. Especially for me, you know, suck it up. And I'm also, you know, sort of like, I don't want to say narcissistic, but I'm also kind of like stubborn, you know. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna keep fucking doing it until I get somewhere, you know. But then I also, you know, sort of like emotionally hurt myself, you know, during all these fucking years, you know. And sort of, and then fucking pandemic happens, right? And that affected me financially. Even to this day, I think about, you know, the loans I had to take from fucking government because I had to pay three fucking rents, two almost empty office spaces, and then my apartment, right? And I really don't want to exhume the fucking graves of fucking COVID because that's just gives me sort of PTSD and sort of like, you know, what happened, man? And and I felt like I mean, this is why I say I'm not a strong person, to be honest with you, is that a lot of people actually hung on to something, you know, during that time. But then again, if you're running a business, I think that was one of the reasons why I was so fucking depressed and I was just fucking on the bourbon trail during those times. And I'm like, if the world is fucking coming to an end, fuck it. Who gives a fuck? You know, that was the motivation or lack of. In any case, let's not go into the fucking past. You know, I'm just saying one thing and then next thing and then next thing. Everything in life, every new thing in life is part of being alive. You know, no matter how depressed you are, no matter how like stressful your situation is, you know, and trust me, that like living alone, some people can do it. And I think, especially after I got married, I can't because it's not like I'm needy. Maybe I'm needy. It's not about need. It's about like, you know, being with my loved one, right? And here is just, I don't know. The only thing, okay, I'll just end this chain of thought or thread that I'm on is that back in the days, like at least somebody, I think one of my friends had told me at that time, who had I had just met, and we became good friends. He was American. I think he's on the West Coast now. I hope he's doing okay. And he had told me, man, listen, New York City is like this city. It's like a fucking black hole, you know. You're not happy. If you're not happy here, just try to move somewhere. Somewhere actually better. Move out to fucking like whatchamacallit, Denver, Boulder area, and that's where I wanted to move out to because I'm from mountains. But in any case, so I'll just end this thread here is that I think at that point, you know, I should have said, yeah, man, you're right, Yeah, okay, so my sister was here, so and then, people from the mountains and blah blah blah, right? So that was sort of like the social network, right? Support system, even though I was just living alone for the longest fucking period in my life, right? And and maybe I was not like financially too stable, or just, because I had already had my business started. And then for me to move to some place like Boulder, I had to basically start from like fucking square one, right? Zero even. Um, but now I mean, at least I can say that, yeah, I'm still, waiting for my wife, and, hopefully that thing happens and, she comes here. And I don't want to be a peers. I mean, the other reason is like, as you grow older, you realize why the fuck do you want to be here when it's up here? It's like so depressing and cold, and it's like cloudy and rainy and fucking no sunshine, right? I don't want to be up here for like 3 months. I want to be gone for 3 months, somewhere like nicer, somewhere like warmer. In any case, so maybe I'm just renting too much. I'm sorry, I apologize. Maybe I'm just renting too much today because well, I should be looking forward to meeting your wife at least, right? Yes, of course. I don't know. Maybe I was just reflecting on my life for like 15 minutes. And so what's the conclusion? Conclusion is that where I am now, am I happy? Is anybody happy in their lives? But at least with some degree of satisfaction, with some degree of happiness, right? Where you want to be, where they want to be, where I want to be, you know? And sometimes you gotta make bold decisions. I think I just was too weak to make those bold decisions to say, you know what, fuck it. I'm not happy here, so why? At least if I'm in Boulder area, at least there is a different vibe there. It's a little more laid back, although as expensive as up here, and I can be up in the nature, right? And yeah, I just didn't have, courage and the financial means to make that move. I'm talking about before pandemic. But at least I moved from fucking New York City to Jersey City, right? Including I opened an office here. And then the fucking pandemic happens, right? In any case, hopefully nothing like that happens again for any of us, you know, anyone. Like just it was just too much, and then too much on the political side of everything that happened with the government and everything, just like a fucking disaster on top of disaster. So I don't know. It is all grand scheme of things of life. Is that what it is? Grand scheme of things that happen in life for a fucking reason. I mean, if you ask my wife, she would say, "Oh, there's everything happens for a reason." You know, she's more optimistic than I am. But I just, am I becoming too pessimistic as the time goes on? I have no fucking idea, you know. So in any case, how is everyone doing? You guys are having a great start of the week. It's Tuesday, and I'll be working remotely wherever I will be, right, with my wife. I want to, I really want to spend some quality time with her, and and I don't want to go out too much, to be honest with you, because I did that for like past 3, 4 weeks. It's been very tough. Like I just didn't want to stay home, and because I was so optimistic about her visas and all that, right? In any case, so um, should we talk about something else? I don't know what should we talk about? Is there anything going on? Oh, I saw that movie, The Union, right? With what's his name? Mark Wahlberg. That's a great movie. Halle Berry, Halle Berry, The Union on Netflix. You guys should watch it. It's action comedy. Uh, and then I was actually watching that old show, Alcatraz, right? Alcatraz. It's sort of science fiction, but it's a weird sort of science fiction. But they don't tell you because it's just only one season. I think after that they just shut it down, because I think that they couldn't figure out what the fuck, right? So if you have these like prisoners from Alcatraz who are showing up in like fucking San Francisco, right? And they haven't aged, what does that mean? So they were in some fucking like private chambers. I that's what I was expecting. It's an old show. I don't give a fuck about if you guys are having issues me talking about this. But that should be science fiction, right? Because then you have to come back. You can't do that unless they basically they replicate you, made a clone out of you with all the memories, right? Implanted. Um, I don't know. Like I've been also thinking about like human consciousness. And the weird thing is, that the human consciousness, I think, is connected through some other dimension into this like universal consciousness. Am I going to sound like a Buddhist right now? I don't think so. But somehow, if you think about this whole construct, right? Somehow our biological bodies, and then our brain is the computer, right? It somehow, I think, had the capability to actually connect to other similar computers without any wires or telepathy or without any fucking chips. Is that true? I don't know how, but somehow I feel like, although if I'm saying what I'm saying is true, what does that mean? Means I can get into other people's heads, or they can get into my fucking head. Is that what it is? I mean, the Force is there. Remember the fucking Star Wars, although that's just totally science fiction. The very fact that the physical universe is constructed of nothingness, what does that tell us? I mean, Joe Rogan talks about that. A lot of people talk about that. Well, what does that tell us? Oh, there's a God particle in there that gives mass, or the matter, right? That creates matter. But then what's in that God particle is nothingness. And isn't that fucking spooky and weird? And I think that's what the whole construct is. That the whole construct is basically just made of nothingness. And in that ether or whatever you call it, in that other realm, other dimension, you realize, holy shit, is that actually the real reality? And this is just like some dumbed down version of like existence, you know, for us human age, right? I don't know. Could be, possibly. Who said that the existence, I think the existence in itself doesn't mean anything. What? Means you are here and you're not here. Am I losing my fucking mind? Maybe I am. All right. But what am I saying here? Am I losing really my fucking mind? We did see this fucking, like, the fire trucks and the this is one peaceful area where I live. Is this is something, the sirens and all this we never hear unless there's a fucking fire going on, right? Ambulance. We never hear any of this shit. So that's the most peaceful, you know, aspect of living here. Except that on the contrary, we have that fucking Sims factory across the water, right? So remember what I said last time, that this sort of like sciatica has also hinted to me that, hey man, listen, you thought you were going to live here forever, but no, all right? It has made you the angriest ever. It has made you depressed. What does that mean? That you're mortal. You can't do what you used to do when you're 22 or 23 or 32, all right? You can't hurt your body. And so, without sounding depressed, this this gives you hopefully it gives you a different perspective, and hopefully it has given me Because I'm very stubborn. Just it's like I'm not accepting this shit, right? And so maybe this is the way for me to accept the fucking universe and the fact that we are mortal. We're not gonna live here forever, you know. Yeah, it just happens. And I mean, God forbid, just imagine something worse happens, right? I mean, then there are people who have who actually go through like some worse shit in their lives, like especially with the like the health, you know. And what does that mean? So now that I know that I'm mortal, my body is going to break down at some point in time. What does that mean? That am I actually trying to find the secret of the universe as to what this whole fucking thing is? I think about that. I think I should think about that more positively instead of being negative. And by that I mean, because I'm sometimes like I just blame myself when I'm thinking and I'm feeling this pain and I'm blaming myself and I'm blaming the fucking universe, you know? And so instead of doing that, I should say, all right, well, it is what it is. So if you think that you're mortal, do you really want to find out what this universe is, or do you want to just, okay, it is what it is? How? To find the fucking answers to what? I think the biggest like fear of mortality obviously is death, right? And obviously nobody knows what the fuck happens after you die, right? But then the secret, I think, is you find out about death before you die. Is that what it is? Some psychedelics actually make you do that, and what they call the ego death, right? And you just basically like like your ego disintegrates, right? You don't need to hold on to anything, and I think that's the ego death, right? That's actually this sort of death, and I'm sorry, I apologize, but that's actually, I think many like people, spiritual people, they try to do that, right? Go through that, the fear, right? And 'cause that's one aspect. I mean, who the fuck knows what happens right after? But then the question is, okay, so has anybody actually figured out really what this whole thing is? Maybe psychonauts, or philosophers who have written books on these extensively on these subjects, right? Or let's say that some sort of a science fiction where we say, oh, you know what, this is a construct, so then what? You start constructing your own fucking universe, is that what it is? Or the world, when everything is hunky and dory, and you create some sort of a utopia, is that what it is? In your mind, and then it comes to fruition and becomes real. I don't know. I have no fucking idea. But I have no, I mean, I don't know what this whole fucking thing is. I mean, could be a simulation, all right? I mean, if there's life after death, then this is definitely a simulation, all right? If there's some sort of an existence after, then this definitely is a simulation by someone, all right? That's my take on this, you know, my reductionist take on this universe. So then why and what is the purpose? Is our purpose just to basically not because we were born here out of our own will, but we were born out of sex between our parents, right? But then after's what? We just basically move along, we just move on like other people, and just like it is what it is, man, you know? Oh, you're trying to find the answers to the existential questions. Have you found anything yet? No. And I don't think anybody actually knows anything about this fucking universe. And that's the whole like seal has been created, right? And the fact that we have so many such hues and so many fucking planets, but the distances are so wide. We are just at the beginning of some sort of a real civilization, becoming a real civilization in this fucking universe. And we are at the nascent stage of our planetary existence. Somebody was talking about this whole thing, and I agree with him. Oh, Peter Thiel, he's a great. I mean, he's the guy who actually founded PayPal, right? Wasn't that PayPal actually bought by Elon Musk or one of them, whatever? Was he partnered with Elon Musk, right? But in any case, so he was saying the same thing that we have actually, we have actually made a lot of progress in computers and like internet and this and that and now AI, but all the other things we haven't. Think about it. And that includes my own dear and near topic of why don't we have a fucking base on the moon, base on Mars, and technologies like nuclear energy, flying cars, um, all that other stuff. Because nobody is really interested. Now everybody is online now on fucking Instagram or fucking Facebook, whatever the fuck it is, right? At some point in time, I think the collapse of this human civilization is going to be within. The internet is going to collapse in itself, onto itself. Just can you imagine without internet, without a phone? Can you imagine your life? Unless all of a sudden internet disappears and then no communication, nothing. It's like 100 years ago, right? Then we are all on the same page. But if you think you can actually live without a phone, without internet, or as humans in this day and age, I don't think we can. So then, have we become too much of an introvert into our own fucking life of these gadgets? Maybe. And that's, I think that's what he was talking about. That we met in the past like 30 years, and I think I said this too. That simultaneously we haven't made progress in all these other venues. Shouldn't we have fucking flying cars by now? At least drone. For example, it's so fucking retarded that tomorrow I have to go to a construction site, right? And it's going to take me hour and a half to get there. Now, if I had a small drone where I could just fly myself into, right? 15 minutes I could get there with the airspeed, 20 minutes. Now that's less than half, right? That's less than half of the fucking time. That's how that's how us humans somehow, maybe the fucking Silicon Valley people, because they just became the whores of the fucking money, and they saw this, and then they basically cashed, right? Like like, okay, so you on fucking Instagram? What do you that's not life. I was actually out at the bar, at the Sunday church bar, and I had these two old friends, and then a really young guy in his 30s, and we were talking about like how these young people are now dealing with the dating scene, and he was saying how it has become a weird thing. Even young ones are feeling it, that everything is now like Instagram and this and that, and because everybody now is on everybody's account. Is that what it is? Friends. It's the weirdest time of the fuck of at least the dating, the whole scene, right? I'm glad actually I didn't. I'm not on Instagram. Yeah, I'm not even on Facebook, except I just fucking post this and then I just disappear. And if that's your life, okay, forget like, okay, forget you are like, I'm not even fucking talking about, oh, people are, commenting on my post and fuck. I don't give a fuck what people say about my post. I don't give a fuck. Everybody has something to say about somebody's post or something, some shit. I don't give a fuck. All right? And no, you all shouldn't do that. Now, if it becomes a thing for these young people that's actually affecting their dating scene, now they have to rely on fucking Instagram and this and that. That's like, what? It's weird. So I think this is the collapse of the human civilization. The other collapse of the human civilization. Remember the Roman Empire and the fucking Greek Empire, the sex and sexology and gender and all those. All these fucking things have collapsed. Those civilizations. And mark my word. And we are no different. It's just that we are a couple of thousand years in advance, but we're still the fucking humans. And then the population decline. There you go. That's it. That's a big one. That's definitely the way actually we are going. I mean, look at me. And I look around my own family, right? My own extended family, my own siblings, and my friends. None of us have kids. And so this is basically across the fucking board, right? And so This is the sign of this headway into the fucking human extinction on this planet. Do I fucking care? I won't be here, you know? And but in a way, I have caused this extinction. If you think about it, I'm to be blamed for. Okay, so what does that mean? So no human remains on this fucking planet. What does that mean? Oh, these humans, they were more advanced, and now I think the chimps, the ones behind us, they are going to take over. Unless, some fucking computer program takes over, which I don't think so. Uh, and everything becomes automated where humans are no longer needed. Whether you become extinct, you don't make babies or not, doesn't fucking matter. Now, we are making machines and, they will run the world, right? That's the Terminator, one of those science fiction, like dystopian predictions, right? So okay, so if that's not happening, then what's going to happen? When there's the last person on this fucking planet, it's going to be all lower tier chimpanzees, monkeys, and all, they are going to basically rule the world. Who the fuck knows? If the AI is not going to rise, then the whole technological world is going to collapse. And then we're going to be back to square one. Back to fucking another race is going to rise up from our previous genes, I think. And that's going to take them at least like a million years. All right. So what do you think if, I mean, in 200 years, maybe 300 years, they're predicting that the human population is going to basically collapse, maybe 600 years? 600 years is nothing in the lifetime of this fucking planet or this universe, or galaxy, or our star system. It's nothing. It's a lot for us because our brain is just too limited. All right. So what does that mean? It means that in this blip of time, this is what was supposed to happen. We came along from our predecessors. We tried, technology came, for whatever reason, we collapsed, including, population decline. I'm not concerned about nuclear war or climate change. No. Mhm. So, so I think that's going to be the beginning of the dawn of another, like genes, and then it's going to repeat itself until we get it in another fucking, who knows, 20,000 years, or I don't know, 100,000 years. That's my prediction. Too pessimistic? No, I think it's too realistic. All right. Now, I won't be here. You won't be here in 300 years. Nobody's going to be here in 300 years. None of us who are alive now would be there in that fucking time period. But this may happen. Might happen. All right. So, with that pessimistic note, well, let's be a little optimistic, sir. But I mean, this is if you ask me, yeah, a possibility, you know. So what are you going to do? Sir, you're going to save the fucking human civilization? I don't know. Yeah, I gotta just fucking save my own self. I'm not here to save anybody else. Myself and my loved ones, you know. Selfish as I sound. Yeah, I'll do if I could for somebody, but at this point in time, I can't do anything for anybody. All right. Maybe the takeaway, especially all you people out here in the West, maybe you should start producing babies again. For fuck's sake, right? Maybe. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that's a loaded question, right? Obviously, when I say that, like, my own, like, family, except for my brother and my other sister who has a kid now, and then, you know, the my friend circle. I don't have a lot of friends, but now them have kids. I get it. It takes a long time because here expectations are so fucking high. And a lot of moving parts, you know? And unless you are really like into her or she's really into you, and why would you want to have a kid? I get that. Yeah, but isn't there a thing called compromise, for fuck's sake? Have we become too idealistic in this fucking Western world? Maybe we have. And then the other problem, I think, is obviously nobody wants to have kids. Yeah, if I had met somebody like earlier in my life, maybe, if their relationship was strong, and then maybe when I was younger, I would have had a kid at that time, right? But I just got married 2 years ago, you know. This was the time, maybe for me. But in any case, without bashing you all out there, but maybe, if you want to sell the fucking humanity, start producing babies. Yeah, I know. That's easy thing to say. Raise a kid here. Just the expenses alone, right? You have to get a nanny, and it's just not easy. I mean, I couldn't even save money to buy a small apartment for fuck's sake. You think I would be able to actually raise a kid? You know how tough it is here in the Western world? People say, oh, dollars are growing on fucking trees. Oh, I know, right? Doesn't work that way, you know. In any case, so I think I'm going to close my podcast on this note, and I assume you all are having a great weekend, and I will do my podcast next from where I'm going to be next with my wife. I'll see you all next week.